The Lost Colony. A 15-minute mystery history sometimes whispers its secrets, but some secrets are buried in such a deep silence that centuries pass and our ears still cannot hear them. Today, we will discuss one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the Americas, a puzzle over 400 years old, the disappearance of the Roanoke colony. It was 1587. England was desperate to leave a permanent mark on the New World. A group of hopeful settlers, 115 men, women and children, led by John White, set sail for the desolate shores of what is now North Carolina. Their dream was to establish the first permanent English settlement. They were pioneers, determined to start a new life, and one of them, Virginia Dare, would become the first English child born in the New World. That was the hope. But within weeks of landing, their food supplies dwindled and tensions with the local tribes escalated. Desperate, Governor John White was forced to return to England to fetch vital supplies. His promise was simple: he would be back in 3 months. However, the threat of the Spanish Armada delayed him. 3 months turned into 3 agonizing years. And when White finally returned to Roanoke Island in August 1590, he was met not with a welcome, but with absolute silence. 115 people. They had simply vanished without a trace. John White frantically searched the deserted settlement, hoping to find his family. The colony did not look like the scene of a massacre. The houses were dismantled and the remains neatly cleared. It seemed like a planned departure, not a panicked one. There was no sign of a struggle. There was only one clue. Carved in large letters into a palisade post was a single word: CROATOAN. On a nearby tree trunk were the letters CRO. White immediately recalled their agreement. The settlers were supposed to carve a cross if they were forced to relocate by danger. White found no cross beside the words. Did this mean the move was voluntary? CROATOAN Island was home to a friendly tribe. White wanted to sail there immediately, but a severe storm struck their ships and forced him to retreat. From that moment on, the 115 inhabitants of Roanoke were lost to history. So, what happened to them? Here are the 3 most compelling theories. Theory 1: Assimilation and blending. The most widely accepted and perhaps the most hopeful theory is assimilation. Facing starvation and harsh conditions, the settlers sought refuge with nearby friendly tribes, specifically the CROATOAN people. The word CROATOAN is the strongest piece of evidence indicating where they went. In this scenario, the settlers joined the tribe, started a new life, and were eventually completely absorbed into the local culture. Archaeological evidence supports this. Excavations nearby have unearthed 16th century English pottery and sword hilts in local Native American settlements. This strongly indicates that the lost colonists interacted with local groups. They didn't disappear, they blended in. Theory 2: Relocation to the interior and slow loss. The second scenario is more tragic. Realizing supplies wouldn't arrive, the settlers left the coast and trekked inland, either north or west, searching for better resources. But while traversing the rugged new territory, they slowly perished due to disease, starvation, or minor skirmishes. Their bodies were buried deep in the woods, leaving no trace for White to find on the coast. This theory is supported by reports from the Jamestown settlers years later, who heard rumors from the natives that the English were still surviving inland. Unfortunately, no rescue attempt was ever mounted. The colony silently perished before help could reach them. Theory 3: Spanish attack or a local massacre. The most violent theory is that the colonists were victims of a mass slaughter. This could have been due to a Spanish attack, an attempt by the Spanish to wipe out the English base. However, no strong evidence of such an attack has ever been found in Spanish records. Alternatively, they may have been ambushed by hostile tribes seeking revenge for past skirmishes with the English. Yet, the absence of conflict or war signs when White returned, and the complete lack of bodies, challenges this theory. This is the ultimate enigma of Roanoke. When a ship sinks, wreckage remains. When a war occurs, bodies remain. But these people were simply erased from this world. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony is a challenge to history. Perhaps the most accurate answer is a combination. The colony weakened, attempted to retreat, some died, and the survivors merged with the local population. The only solid evidence remaining is the scar on a tree, CROATOAN. Was it a cry for hope, a farewell, or a sentence whispered to us by history, one it can never complete? Roanoke is the cost of starting a new life, the tragedy of a leader's delay, and one of humanity's greatest mysteries. And until this mystery is solved, the whispers of time will continue to tell the story of this lost colony. What do you think happened to Roanoke? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. See you in the next tragic and strange story. Goodbye.